All right, welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. Tyrone Johnson here as well. We don't do a lot of college coach talk on this show because it's boring, but I thought yesterday was fascinating. I'll start you off with Lane Kiffin, who obviously is killing it at Ole Miss, and Ole Miss obviously wants to keep him, rightfully so, but you've got the Florida job and the LSU job that is open for him. So I guess LSU yesterday flew him in on a private jet, and there were some diehard LSU fans scoping out the private jet terminal.
Yeah.
And caught him in a disguise of some kind.
Yeah.
Arriving there with his family, or at least his wife. I'm not sure if the kids were there as well. For an interview with LSU.
Now, the wife and kids have already taken a separate trip to both Baton Rouge and to Gainesville, where he grew up, already in front of him.
Gotcha. So, look, it's no secret that Lane Kiffin is the hottest coach in the country when it comes to other opportunities. As you know, I've been a Lane Kiffin supporter for a very, very long time.
You have?
He could basically get any job he wants because of the success he's had throughout his career, now the obvious success he's having at Ole Miss. I'm one of those guys that thinks, the grass isn't always greener, and you should stay right where you're at because Ole Miss can't compete. Ole Miss has money for NIL, and he's just got a great fit there, and I love watching him on the sideline at Ole Miss. That being said, there are other programs, and Florida and LSU historically are two of those programs that it's very hard to say no to because they have all the resources in the world, and you figure you have a chance to play for a national championship, at least historically. Like going back to the Steve Spurrier days, obviously. Going back, to all the success LSU has had, etc.
Every coach until Brian Kelly had won a national championship at LSU.
At LSU.
Yeah.
So he goes in there, and I was talking to a dear friend of mine who's a big LSU guy from New Orleans, and I texted him, I said, look, you got to make him the hotel offer. And the hotel offer is, we're going to give you an obscene amount of money that no one else is going to match, which they have the ability to do. But you have to sign it before you leave the hotel. If you walk out of your hotel room without signing the piece of paper, the deal no longer exists. It can't be one of those, I'm going to shop the deal, I need to talk to people. If you want to be our coach, here's the piece of paper. Here's an ungodly amount of guaranteed money. Take it or leave it now. You could spend the night if you want, which obviously he can because he's got to go back to Ole Miss. Take it or leave it, right? Now, he is not yet, as far as we know, physically gone to Florida, probably doesn't have to. He knows the facilities, knows the program very, very well. So it's interesting now that LSU is going all in, as they should, by the way, for the hottest coach in the country. I think he should stay at Ole Miss, but I would totally understand how the LSU job is very hard to pass on. And by the way, Florida as well, based more on history than recent days.
And also home, though. Monty Kiffin is looming large right now. When he was there with Tampa, that's home for him. Does he want to go back to where he grew up?
Fair enough. Look, having traveled a lot in radio, I respect someone betting on themselves, saying, I've done it everywhere else. I want to do it here too. And I think he is that guy. He's a bit of a gambler. So my gut is he probably leaves Ole Miss. And Ole Miss is now sitting there saying, we're giving you a deadline. Because we are not being played.
He's got 10
We're not
days.
patsies. We're giving you a week and a half, essentially Thanksgiving weekend.
Yep.
We want to know if you're going to take the job, good luck to you. We wish you the best. But if you don't let us know by then, that's a wrap. So I think that's fair also.
Yeah, for sure.
We know that you're being courted. We know that you're going to consider it, and we understand why. We want you to stay. We're willing to pay you to stay, but you got to make up your mind by November 28th, I think it is.
Yep, 10 days. Yep, 28th. On Black Friday. Yep,
and that's
Black Friday.
it. So on Black Friday, you're either staying at Ole Miss, and here's your new deal, or you're going to LSU or Florida, and we wish you well.
Yep.
Period. Stop. The other job, though, that happened yesterday fascinates me because of the inbred weasels that go to Virginia Tech and live around Virginia Tech, okay? So Virginia Tech was all in, all the chips in the middle of the table to go get James Franklin, the former embattled head coach at Penn State. There's not another school in the country that picked up the phone and called James Franklin and wondered if he'd be interested in being their head coach. Not a one. So you have Virginia Tech competing against nobody, essentially competing against themselves. And they're all happy, happy, happy. They got James Franklin. And congratulations, James Franklin is a good coach.
He is.
But think about this. Normally, when you get all pumped up about a hire, it's you're going after a guy like Lane Kiffin. You're going after a guy that's been uber successful, that's going to come to your program and overnight change it for the better. Normally, it's a younger guy at a smaller school or conference who's made his bones and he's ready for the big time, right? In this case, you're taking a guy on the way down. A guy that was 4-21 against top 10 teams. A guy that was winless on the road against top 10 teams. A guy that never won a title. A guy that was 500 in bowl games. But good for you, Virginia Tech. You got a guy to make a major step down from the Big Ten to the ACC, where he has zero chance of recruiting the best players and zero chance of ever winning a national title. So congratulations. You got the guy that nobody else wanted. Let's have a parade while we're at it, you inbred weasels. Ugh.